Good afternoon, YouTube. Pam and Jet here again, doing another video, rambling about stuff and things, and I said I was going to do another video yesterday, and I kept alluding to it, and then I never did it, because I sort of, like, sometimes when you're doing a lot of videos, you kind of just lose momentum, and then you're just like, and I recorded like 4 other videos, and then I kept rewatching them and being like, I don't like this, so I kept deleting them. But hopefully that won't happen with this one. So I don't want to I don't want to do another video all about how much I hate Avatar. There were a couple of things that I still kind of wanted to say, but a lot of it was actually said in my comment sections by all of the lovely people who decided to come and comment on my videos. Thank you, everybody. It was and is very fun to sort of have that kind of discourse with people. The cool thing that sort of happened is that, it was a lot of people that I kind of knew, was familiar with, but you sort of get different opinions on movies, and I think that that's the cool thing about movies. It's like the one art form, well, I mean, music sort of enables it too, but it's kind of something that everybody knows something about, or everybody has a favorite movie, or at least real people have a favorite movie. Even though I can't even say that, because I'm one of those people, it's very difficult for me to say what my favorite movie is, because there's so many, but what our favorites are. And so we can always talk about them, like, that's something that everybody can always talk about, and so there was some good discussion on that. Really, the video that I wanted to do, that I kept alluding to that I was going to be doing as my third part yesterday, was more of a comparison between Avatar and what I felt was a vastly superior movie, both writing-wise and technically, which was District 9. And there were a lot of parallels, and somebody had commented, like, basically like a list of the parallels between the two films, and if you want to consider Avatar a film. But I rewatched District 9 last night again, because I can't, it's so good. And it's heartbreaking, and it affects me personally, emotionally, so much, in such, like, a fantastic way. I mean, I don't want to ruin it for anybody who hasn't seen it, because I know it's just out on DVD, so there's probably plenty of people who still haven't seen it. But maybe I won't talk too much about it right now, because of the fact that I know that a lot of people haven't seen it. Another movie that I kind of wanted to mention in the sci-fi realm is Moon, with Sam Rockwell and Kevin Spacey, that came out like April or May, maybe June. It was a limited release. I just saw it now that it came out on DVD. And this is my point with Avatar not being groundbreaking as far as digital effects go, and other movies doing much better at using special effects in ways that fit the story and aren't distracting. I watch Moon. I love it. If anybody, just go look up the trailer for it. I don't want to talk too much about what the movie's about, but my abbreviation that I've been saying to everybody is that it's Sam Rockwell on the moon with a Kevin Spacey robot. Now, I don't mean a Kevin Spacey robot as in, like, a C-3PO, but it's got Kevin Spacey's face or anything. What I mean is there is a big, boxy, clunky, kind of HAL-like robot, but instead of having the big red eye, he's got, like, a little emoticon on a screen that has, like, different happy and sad faces, and it's Kevin Spacey's voice. Now, it's kind of sci-fi convention. Somebody's alone on a space station, there's a robot. I wasn't, there wasn't anything particularly special or surprising about this particular robot, aside from the fact that he had this little emoticon face, as opposed to just being either blank or whatever. But just he was like a big boxy hanging thing. Go check out the preview, see what he looks like. Then I was talking to a friend of mine who had also recently seen it, and what she said, she was like, oh, because the robot's name is Gertie. She was like, oh, Gertie was completely CG. And I was like, really? And And I was so surprised and I was so happy because of the fact that I was completely unaware of this. This was a CG character, basically. It was a CG thing that was in the entire movie, and it never, to me, seemed that it was CG. It filled the space. It was physically there. Sam Rockwell was physically interacting with it, and it never came into my mind that it was a CG character. If you want to consider a robot thing like it is a character. But that's my point, is that you can have... I don't want to seem, as I think I may have come across in these videos, and some other videos that I've done about my appreciation of practical effects over CG effects, that I'm somehow against the use of CG. I'm not. What I'm against is laziness. And I think a lot of filmmakers could be using practical effects, but they're like, fuck it, we'll just do CG. And that if they thought a little bit harder, if they really put the effort into it, they would be using it. They would be using the technology that exists in ways to further the film, not to make the film. And what I mean by make is that the entire movie's CG and that's all it is. And I'm not talking about like a CG animated movie that is CG characters and, you know, like a Pixar movie. That's fine. That's completely fine. But in movies like Avatar and the Star Wars prequels and Transformers, where it's like, we're just gonna throw so much CG shit at you and pretend like that makes it a movie. And it's not. And there are people out there who are using these technologies as I feel they should be used. As, you know, little... When you need to do something that you maybe can't necessarily physically do, or like in Lord of the Rings with Gollum, where you couldn't have an actor physically be that look. Like, you couldn't get a person to look like that and it to be the actual character. So they needed to do it in CG. And there's times when I think CG is appropriate. What offends me is when people try to use it in inappropriate ways or in lazy ways. So the other little thing that I want to say before I go, I might do another quick video after this one. After I did all my videos, went upstairs, had a little chill out, put on TV. Happened to be that Revenge of the Sith was on. Now, I don't think I've actually sat down and watched that entire movie since I saw it in the theater. But it's on cable occasionally, and sometimes, you know, it'll just be on in the background just for a laugh, mostly. I'm sitting there, I'm not really paying attention, I'm doing something else on the computer. And I turn, and I look at the screen, and it's the battle on Kashyyyk. Go and watch that. For the people who have been talking to about the whole Avatar original thing, go and watch that battle scene. That is that's everything that happens in Avatar, except it's Wookiees instead of kitty cat people. So there you go. So hopefully I'll do another quick video after this, and by quick I mean another 10-minute one. Alright, thanks guys. See you later.